I'm quite a sociable person, and part of the enjoyment of what we do is being sociable and being with people. And I'm just going to kind of throw it out there. Are you missing it at all? And if you are missing it, what part do you really kind of miss? And Jane seemed really keen to answer that one to start off with.
No, I'm really antisocial person.
Go on,
Yeah, I'll
Jane.
second that. Having worked with you for the last however many years, miserable
Thank
sod.
you. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I think some of the essence of what we do is finding that place of meeting with people. Finding that musically, finding that interpersonally, finding that space to value each other. And I think there's something that I love in both drum circles and in doing the play shops is that thing of we kind of show ourselves to each other when we're in a drum circle. If we jump in to facilitate or even in our playing, there's this beautiful thing of seeing people and being seen by people. And I think that's something, it doesn't come across quite the same way on Zoom. But I also think we're resilient and we're adaptable and we're giving it a really good go. And we're making the best of these circumstances as well.
That sensation of missing, that the sound of, 30 or 40 drummers drumming together and percussion all playing together in a room, and that sensorial experience of kind of feeling it and hearing it and seeing it and smelling it to a certain extent is kind of something that I'm kind of, maybe not the smelling it so much, is kind of some of the stuff that I'm kind of really, really missing, that connectivity on that side. And, the virtual world offers so much, but there's also these barriers there as well.
Today I was writing down, I was updating my CV, my curriculum, and working because I was the last 2 years missing, and so I was looking in my agenda all the workshops, all the stuff I did in the last 2 years. And for me, being with people and making music with people is like, it's been like healing myself, becoming the wall. And it's like, I've discovered my place in the world because I love it. I love so much. And when you love something and you find your place in the world, then you do something good for you and for all the people that are around you. So I'm missing a lot. I find that it can be, this can be a great opportunity to grow up, to stay with ourselves and to do what was impossible to do in other periods. But the social part and being with people, it's something that I'm really missing.
I miss it in the sense that I know it's not there, but I'm not the kind of person to dwell on what's not. It's just not me. So I'm in the most isolated space that I've ever been in my life. I'm living in a cabin off grid in the middle of a field, and there are no human beings around. And I've been in this space for 5 months, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm finding things out about myself that I've never encountered before because I've never sat that quietly for that long. I'm out walking on the land every day, whatever the weather. I'm taking my photography to a whole other level. It's like I've just found other creative outlets because I can't do what I do. It's not possible. I don't have the option of picking my drum up and going and hanging out a pal and playing. So for me, I've just kind of left it to one side. I'm not doing any Zoom drumming. I don't like drumming on Zoom. It just is an anathema to me. I'm just happy to wait till I can get back into a situation with real people and play again. And in the meantime, I'm enjoying this deep dive into the world of isolation. So I miss it, but I'm not mourning it. If it became a permanent thing, then that would be a different story, right? But I see an end to this, and so right now I'm enjoying having a different kind of liberation. There's something really beautiful about self-encounter at this level. I've not, it's like going to a monastery.
In a drum circle, that kind of activity is really quite crucial, to be seen and to see someone for who they are, and accepting and valuing each contribution to that creation is really important. And the witnessing has completely disappeared, and I really, really miss that part of it, and of any work that I've done. So yes, I can't wait to get back to it. I've kind of I've made myself develop a liking of some of the online activities that we do. I've made myself. I stayed away from all that for a long time, but I kind of made myself learn. And I was even asked to do Facebook live sessions. For God's sake, you can't interact with anyone. And I can't see anybody play. I don't know what they're doing. So I was thrown into that straight away. So to me, the seeing each other and feeling each other's presence, and just the vibrational nature of music is very, very, very missed. Very missed. And I'm developing other sensitivities, and I think congratulate myself. I'm not doing too bad with that, but I don't prefer it. No.
Well, I just thought I really missed it in spring during our first lockdown, and I realized how much I missed it when I did the first drum circle. So I missed it more when I started, or I noticed it when I started doing it again. And remember when I stood in the middle of the circle and realized that there are connections evolving between the people. And this was the moment when I thought, oh shit, now I stand in the middle and I will start to cry, because it was so overwhelming to be there again and to witness people building connections between each other. Yeah, and now it feels a little bit like I'm used to it. It's a bit sad. I don't miss it every day. And what I really like is the idea of a second best solution. And I think in some ways I managed to step into some second best solutions. And I took some time to write some of these articles about the inner drum circle, and this is well, kind of a second best solution. At least it has to do with this idea, and it has to do with creating connection. And yeah, that's at least something that makes me happy at another end of my my being. But what I really miss is this physical thing, like being just being there with my whole body and feeling the vibrations of the drums, smelling maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving this question. I'm loving the answers, because it's making me think. When we went into lockdown, I had predominantly been working in the area of mental health recovery, psychiatric units and stuff like that, and I was really happy. I have to say, I actually felt a relief to stop. I didn't realize it was only when I stopped I felt relieved. Did I miss it? No, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't miss it at all. And it's only when we were talking today on the coffee morning, and I made a few confessions to the group, which I won't do here on public, but one of the confessions was, this one is not censored, this one is okay. One of the confessions was that it reminded me when we were drumming, when you're drumming and you're in a group and there's that moment when everyone is together, the rhythm is together. I call it that magic moment when we're cooking. And I was saying to the guys today, I used to get a grunt in my body. That's the only word I can use to describe it. Like coming up from my stomach all the way up. Now, lucky enough, no one else could hear, only me, because the drumming covered the sound of it. But I could hear myself grunting. And I knew, gosh, when I'm in that moment, so I knew that my physical body was reacting to the pulse and the sound and marinating in the rhythm and the impact it had. I mean, I was saying to the guys today, you know, I was diagnosed with cancer in 2013, and as soon as I had surgery and was up and walking, I thought, God, this is the end of my drumming. Who am I going to be? But as soon as I was okay, I was back to drumming. And I genuinely think that the year been marinating in that rhythm was so physically healing for me, you know, so physically healing. But when we were talking about it today, that made me remember, gosh, I miss that grunt. You know, I miss, it's a physical thing. You know what I mean, all of you. Nod if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's that physical, like, oh, you know, I won't use the word I used today, but it's that physicalness.
Go on.
I called it an orgasm. I said the best orgasms I've ever had has been in a drum circle, you know. But their rhythm, you know, that, and that's true, because they're like just anyway. I won't do it now on live. But the creativity, it's interesting how you're saying that, because I don't think I'm creative. I think my motivation for doing the drumming, as much as I love the drumming, I think my motivation, and I am certain that everyone in this panel will agree with me, was the physical connection and the human connection, and the knowing that we were actually doing something really palpable with people. You know, it was a palpable, I'm loath to use the word healing because that has all these connotations, but there's a palpable, oh, Jane, I wish I had your words. You've got such brilliant words. But anyway, there's something palpable taking place. And as you were asking everyone the question, I was thinking, God, what did I do with that? But do you know what I did? I've had a career change. Into lockdown, I actually had a complete career change. And I now work with perpetrators of domestic violence. I run intervention programs. And I realized, as I was listening to all of you guys, I'm still a facilitator. And I've always been a facilitator. The drumming and the music was just a tool that I used as a facilitator to make connection and healing and progress and help people with their growth. All I've done now is take that. I'm still a facilitator, but now my medium is different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I was saying to the guys earlier on today, I got a message then from the National Concert Hall in Ireland. They run programs called Music in Mind, which is the recovery programs. And they happened to email me this morning and say, we really want to go back, we want to do it online. And my first reaction was like, no. And then I thought, oh man, they're the biggest payers I've ever worked for. They pay really well. I'm going to make this light work, you know. So, and I felt excited again after our comments. I was saying it to you, Ray, afterwards. I felt excited. I thought, yeah, between remembering the grunt, remembering the rhythmical orgasms, and the door opening for someone to go, hey, look, are you ready now to come back? So I'm beginning to think that maybe I can have two careers. I can keep going with the domestic violence work, and maybe just have two branches. But I think I'm ready to go back now. So I didn't miss it. That's the short answer, is I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
You know, at all.
Much like Debbie, when you hear everybody else speak, it kind of it gives you another perspective and sometimes inspires a different idea. And I think that my answer was similar to Debbie's in that, you know, no, I haven't missed it because it's just something that's not there. I think that the reaction that Helga spoke about, I think that's what's going to happen for me. I think when I'm back in a physical circle with people playing drums, I'm going to grieve, probably.
Wow.
When I hear that music and I feel that grunt, or whatever your version of it is that you feel when you get that connection, I think that's going to bring grief out for me personally. I think that at that point I will realize what I've not had all that time.